Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast, hosted by Makiba
and Brittany, two former NFL cheerleaders discussing hot topics in the pro cheerleading industry
and revealing the truth behind the Poms. Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. This is one of your hosts, Makiba.
And Brittany's here.
And today we have a very, very special episode. It's our first episode on location.
Yeah.
Where are we at right now, Brittany?
We thought it was Yakima, but we're actually in... Shoot it over to Mickey.
Sunnyside, Washington.
Awesome. It is sunny here.
It is. Beautiful. 300 days out of the year.
That's awesome.
We have Mickey Moctezuma as our very first special guest on our podcast. So we welcome you, Mickey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mickey is what is her official title? So I don't screw it up.
I guess it's kind of hard to say.
Can I say like makeup extraordinaire?
Yeah,
I mean,
artist.
Makeup artist does not even seem to do it justice.
Oh, thanks.
But
that
is true.
Makeup artist is usually or beauty enhancer. I like
beauty enhancer. Yeah, that sounds even better.
Side, but,
Mickey is like Picasso, everyone. So we have to really jazz it up because she's amazing at what she does. Today's episode is called She's Got the Look. We're talking about makeup and the look of professional cheerleaders, and Mickey's going to break down the world of makeup in a way that nobody else can. We had to have her as a guest, so thank you.
Thank
for joining
you.
us.
Thanks for coming. What was the first, what year was it that you and your team came over? And there was three of you, huh?
There was three of us,
okay.
Yeah. And we came over, I think 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the year? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you guys were really excited because normally the invitations kind of stay pretty local.
Yeah, they usually stay on the West Coast, so they opened it up to certified artists just in the state of Washington, and me and my assistant at the time was Olivia, and she's an incredible artist, and I thought we have to get our hands on this. This is definitely going to be fun. So,
yeah, and what we're talking about is the calendar, right?
Yes, so I met Mickey at that 2016 calendar shoot. She did my makeup and did such a beautiful job, and Olivia as well came through.
And Baby Trash.
Yes, that's right.
She did mine. See, that's what I'm saying. There's something in the water out here because you guys are so awesome, and I was so pumped that you guys came through.
Yeah.
So Baby Trash did mine.
Yeah.
I don't know who Olivia's did, but then you met Mickey that way.
Yeah. So Mickey, I'm sitting there. So when you have photo shoots, you're sitting in a chair, and the makeup artist, is taking you from plain Jane to glam girl, but Mickey would just sit there and tilt her head and study my face. And I was like, oh my gosh.
And Mickey has gorgeous eyes, so it's easy to be like, look at me, and you're like, okay,
Thanks.
But it was just one of those things where I was like, what is she thinking about? Like, what is she do? And then I wasn't really like tracking with the mirror, like, what is she up to? What is she, but I was thinking.
You trusted me. It was great.
I know.
appreciate
oh my
that.
gosh. I was fascinated with how it was like an artist. And then I was like, I cannot wait to see what you did. And then when you get the camera, or the mirror, not the camera, it's just like, whoa, this is...
The camera was all up in there, too, though.
Yeah,
they were filming
they
everything.
Were?
They were.
They didn't do that the day I shot. They were like, whatever.
But the funny part is when, so Mickey does this masterpiece of makeup on my face, and then we were at a mansion this day, beautiful in Lake Washington.
Mansion, yes.
And my location was in a jacuzzi that clearly hadn't been cleaned. Little did I know. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm looking glamorous, looking fabulous, feeling myself. And
in a bright green suit.
In
you
a
look
bright
gorgeous.
green suit. Beautiful.
We'll put the link to the picture below. But I'm kidding. But so I'm ready. And I'm like, okay, because I do not swim, you guys. And not that it required swimming, but I stepped my little foot into the jacuzzi only to take a shloop, like a full-on, plop into the water, and I probably look like somebody who's about to drown. And I'm trying to get my footing.
Made it slippery.
Yes, it made it so
Hadn't
slippery.
cleaned in years because who hot tubs around here?
And so I'm sitting here trying to stand up in the jacuzzi, trying to get my footing, and I slipped 3 more times.
And you're not alone.
Everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yes.
Stand up, girl.
Yes.
What is wrong with you? And I just had water. My hair got wet. My face got wet, and I was like,
did you get water up your nose? Were you sputtering?
No,
I know. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. But I was just thinking, her whole makeup
laughing,
must
Mickey?
be draining
I
off my
didn't get
face.
to see that part. I was actually, I think I was doing somebody else
so
at the
awkward.
time.
Oh my god!
But I got a quick sneak
recap
peek when you were doing yours. I didn't see the slip, but I got
makeup
actually
held
a small little
everybody.
video too, so it's cool. I got that.
Yeah,
I got
see,
my my phone saved.
I thought I was going to look slimy and a hot mess, but the makeup held perfectly.
It did.
That was the time that I was asked to do like the walk under the sprinkler and dance
What?
moves.
Yep, I have that on video. That's what I have on video.
Wait, like splash water yourself?
No,
No,
literally there's a
shower.
shower.
Of water coming
Okay.
down. So she got to like bathe and dance in it. It was
Which
great.
was not what I would have liked, but
You got to do what you got.
gotta
You're
do what
told.
you do. Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
honestly.
I don't think I do the wet girl look very well, but I was thinking again, my makeup's gonna melt off my face, and it totally held. So, again, today we're gonna be talking about the look and asking you a million questions, Mickey. But we start out with a little bit of cheer chat, just
Yep.
kind of what's going on in our world of professional cheerleading. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? You said there's a big fan base of the NFL specifically out here.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Or
kind of
just
take a
sports in
little
general?
cruise, sports in general, but
Okay.
I think that's a lot of 12s for sure. But
Right.
if you go around the neighborhood, you'll see a couple other flags around there.
That's cool.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing we're not playing because there might be screams going on.
Right,
Yeah.
bye week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
For us
You can have
locally.
a Poms little week of cheer, but we also obviously cover things other than the NFL. So we have the NBA and NHL. Their games are underway.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
we
We
saw
saw
a
a
great
little
game
action
last
last
night.
night.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Were you watching
Oh,
the Lakers
yeah.
game?
Yep.
Yep, we were too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So lots of little action. But
Houston won.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Okay, I stepped away for the last bit. Why? I don't know, but
Did
yeah,
you see the
that
fight
was-
though?
I did see the fight.
Yeah,
that was
that
good.
was
Just coming
good.
flying through, punching people in the back of the head. I was like, oh yeah, this is good now.
I bet that was probably a little tough for LeBron. You know, he's
Yeah.
like his best friend and his teammates. Kind of
Seriously.
like, what do I do here?
I wonder if the team felt like, whose side are you on, dude? You know, when there's a fight, there's a
Yeah.
fight. And
Yeah,
you stick
yeah.
to your color and your team. And
Yep.
Or Lance Stevenson, I didn't know they were teammates now. It's like he was blown in his face a few years ago
That's
at
right.
finals, right, or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
yeah.
for basketball. That's what
Yeah.
I call it. But yeah, basketball's underway and
Yeah.
hockey too. And
So-
there's actually cheerleaders for that. Did you know that, Mickey?
I didn't.
For hockey?
But there's a
Yeah.
big in the Tri-Cities arena. There's
That's
hockey
right.
out there. So I don't know what
Level.
it is, but it's pretty popular out there.
Yeah, there's rumors that not rumors, it's confirmed. We're getting,
getting
a
a hockey
professional.
team.
But we've had semi, right? Is it the Blackhawks or
Yes.
and
I
then you
think you're
guys
right.
have
Yep.
one out here,
Yep,
so
something out here,
smaller teams, but I don't know. I'll have
What
to
are you
check
gonna
out
do?
the
Are you gonna
dances. I know if they have a
unretire
dance
from-
team. Be like, I'm the director. No, yeah, right. I could never. A lot of those girls ice skate.
That's true.
Oh,
You know.
They,
yeah.
they're cleaning
Oh,
the
yeah.
ice and they're also dancing and
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
I didn't even think about how that would all go down.
yep. Yep,
So
we're
that's
gonna have an
cool.
episode dedicated to others.
Exploring.
Yeah, exploring NHL especially because I'm curious. And then NBA, why they call
Yeah.
themselves dancers and not cheerleaders. They don't have pom poms and
Yeah, what, you think you're better than us?
I
No, I'm
know.
kidding. Everybody's equal.
we're all one big cheer sister family.
Yes.
That's cool. Yes, and that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to
I'll
hear
have to
about
tune
that one.
in,
Yes,
Nikki.
most definitely.
Should we jump right into
Yeah. Let's do it.
She's Got the Look?
Alright.
So who doesn't have the look, Mickey? Like, who cannot be saved?
This is a setup question.
well, what's your philosophy to
you
make
know,
that?
I believe, I've always stuck by, creating an A+ version of yourself. That's definitely my motto when it comes to applying makeup, unless directed otherwise.
Okay.
But, I feel like everybody can be enhanced,
Okay.
for sure. I feel like everybody can be enhanced. There's difference between enhancing and transformation. So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the cheerleaders and beauty looks, it's more of an enhancement versus a transformation. Transformations don't necessarily withhold for a long day, I guess you could say.
So when we're out there
Okay.
dancing in the rain and we're sweating and your hair's
Outfit changes and
Yeah.
stuff and all that.
maybe the transformation look will look a little different pregame from the end of the game.
It'll
when
probably transfer too. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how well, put a little transfer a little bit for sure.
Got you. Well, that's interesting because pro cheerleaders, we've talked before on other episodes just about the image and the look. And, when I think NFL or any of the pro cheerleading teams, it's just this very glamorous,
Girl next door, kind of natural beauty.
yeah, nothing too trendy in terms of like wings and I don't even know what I'm talking about. Maybe we're gonna have to break it down.
Yeah,
But it's just very, like you said, naturally enhanced, and there's obviously a very beautiful palette to work from, and everybody's beautiful in their own right. But let's be real, there's
some need a little bit more enhancements.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Have you seen that when you came through to work for us, where you're kind of like, oh, okay, I got to do a little transforming within this enhancement, you know?
You know, I don't know that I would say necessarily that, but there's definitely a diverse crowd of people.
Right. Or maybe just
that
problem
we've-
areas, right?
Yeah, you know, everybody has
people.
different features, and there's definitely people that have more softer, feminine features, and there's some that have a little bit more androgynous features that you want to kind of soften up and
Like
maybe
me.
look a little.
Ginger beast.
No, not at all. But
Carve out this chin. I remember I dated a guy and he was like, you have like a very like, I don't know how to say it, like German chin. And I was like, what
German
the hell?
chin?
Or like a jawline, like a very strong jawline. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, contour up in here. Like, never again.
soften it out,
Yeah, you'll never see
round
my
it out
jawline
a little
again.
bit. Yeah,
Oh, geez. Okay, back to your...
it's great. It's great.
Well, what brought you? Like, what? Talk us through your career path and like how you came to be a cheerleader. I mean, a cheerleader.
Well, you know, when I was in kindergarten, my mom put me in grid kids. No.
Well, you do have a good rhythm. Your daughter's a dancer.
She is
you
a
know?
dancer,
So she's
and
going to
I
be a
did stuff
future
when I was younger,
cheerleader.
for sure. Yeah, she
got it from
probably
her
will
mom,
do
right?
something.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Probably my cousin she got it from, or her dad. But yeah, definitely there's a little bit of history in there in her bloodline. It's a long journey. I've been doing makeup for almost 14 years. In December, it'll be 14 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long, long time coming. But I actually didn't even wear makeup.
You don't need it.
She's-
Thanks.
I was just gonna say that. So
It's so
gorgeous.
true. Yeah.
I didn't wear makeup at all. And the manager at the counter at the time was like, hey, you should come work for me. And I was like, I don't even wear makeup, or I don't even know how to put it on people.
Were you a customer at that time, or how did you even meet the manager?
Honestly, I believe that we worked alongside each other she worked at Mac and I worked in a different department that were next to each other.
Okay.
And she's just like, I feel like you'll change lives. I feel like you could change lives.
Wow.
Consider doing it. And I was like, I don't know, girl.
I agree
But
with
I
that.
had done, I took art in high school. Now, I'm not an incredible artist by any means like that as far as that goes. But I took art, so I understood like color theory and placement and shading
Okay,
and things
okay.
like that, and understanding how to work in that form. So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And I ended up falling in love with the brand and just kind of really seeing all the avenues that they opened up for, and went for all the certifications that I could with the company that they offered me.
And this
I
is
got
Mac,
certified in all
right?
of them. Yep, with
Okay.
Mac, yep. So I got certified in all the ones that I can take out here. And so, like we said earlier, we received an email for a certified artist to go do makeup for the Seagals. And it was something I felt like I needed to add to my portfolio and my resume
Yeah,
of,
absolutely.
artistry. So, I have to be honest, after doing that shoot with you, when I met you, I left there thinking, I don't know that I'll do retail makeup forever. Like, I sincerely wanted to do, like,
Wow.
Sports Illustrated
Yeah.
type
Heck
makeup.
yeah.
And
It
you
was
can.
so fun. Like, it was
You have a gift, Mickey. like,
amazing. It was
seriously.
just a great environment
Yeah.
and different, just different diversity of people. And it was a little tricky, though, I'm not going to lie, because it was hot that day. It was a very, very hot day, and it was a sweaty, hot day. So you have
We
to
have to
think
take
of different
advantage.
type of makeup.
Yeah.
And you have to take
For
into
Washington.
consideration different type of makeup that you would put to survive those types of
elements, right?
elements. Yeah, one of the girls had to get into the water, so you also had to go through water too. So
Yes.
really trying to create looks that would withhold being dunked in water, submerged in water, coming out of water,
Oh, that's true.
dipping your toe in water, whatever the
Yeah.
case may have you. We did some tattoo cover-ups and stuff like that. And
Oh, that's right. And you can't have everything
So-
coming off when you get
so
wet.
yeah, so it was fun. It was a good experience.
How would you describe the difference between like, photo shoots or makeup for photo shoots versus, bridal or runway, or like, is there a different approach for doing makeup for those types of jobs, or-
makeup sometimes can be so complex. I feel like I definitely think that there's different types of makeup for everything. I don't know that everybody recognizes that opportunity to look at somebody like maybe even age-appropriate makeup.
True. Never
Yeah.
thought about that.
You know,
Yeah.
that there's definitely that, and then bridal makeup is definitely, in my opinion, is definitely something more you want to create timeless beauty, something that you want to be able to look back in your pictures, 50 years from now or 20 years from now, 10, 5, trends change, and go, wow, she looks great. That's why Marilyn Monroe's makeup looks still good now.
Amen.
Because it was just a classic look that would never age. And I look at makeup for brides that way.
Okay.
And as far as runway, it's definitely more edgy, can be more edgy, not necessarily anything that you would wear on a day-to-day basis, but there are some people that like to try new things and jazz it up and do different things and wear just a blotch of red across their eye,
eyebrows or
no
something,
eyebrow, the no eyebrow look, or
avant-garde.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's exactly it. Yep, just like that. So, but I think that for like pro cheerleaders, it's like you guys said, it's that classic, just natural,
almost bridal.
almost bridal. Yeah, it is very ish. I think it's just a little bit more. Well, depending on the bride, but it's maybe a little bit more smoky, but not black.
Thank
that's
you.
definitely.
We always got that a lot. We had direction about if we were doing our own makeup, which we did quite often, is not to do anything too trendy. And I think now it makes sense not to black it out, make it too dark, too edgy, too trendy for the time. So that, exactly.
But we're also cheering, at huge stadiums, football, maybe potentially outdoors. And you're trying, when I think like theater stage makeup, where you're trying to create enough, and I don't know correct me, just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But in my mind, I'm thinking like dimensions where you can see
absolutely.
the makeup
You
from,
definitely have to put more on.
Yeah.
But it's got to be strategic. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
not just going to put like a black contour on your face because you want somebody to see your contour from the top of the...
Because there's people close, too, so they don't want, busted the house. I don't want to be at this game anymore.
You want to be able to look appealing to the person up at the top and the person standing next to you, for sure.
It definitely
so
can look
there's
scary.
definitely, you could definitely that's where transformations come in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my jawline, served a purpose, actually. 300 level, I'm here.
Yes.
Like my nose, no.
Whatever, gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, thank you. So you did the calendar shoot, and like you said, it kind of created just, like maybe there's some other, what's your favorite style of makeup or in terms of a look?
Like on people or myself?
Both.
Yeah.
On myself, I'm kind of, this sounds really weird, but in fashion shows, if you're ever to follow like any backstage at these events, most of them don't really wear any makeup, and you probably would cross them in the street and not know that they're so talented. I think that's the deception now with social media making everybody an artist, is that artistry really just comes on your ability to be able to see something in somebody else and even yourself. But for myself, I would say it's probably the more less is more type of approach. In general, I'd say the less is more, probably. Going back to really, I'm just more of I can do some transformations. I've done it. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, I did some drag makeup, and I haven't done it in years, which was so fun, on somebody who had it was their first time doing it, and they're on a competition, and that person actually ended up winning. I'm like, hey, that's awesome. But in general, I'd say less is more. I'm a less is more type of person, and would rather enhance what's already there and make people feel like an A+ version of themselves. I really abide by that, I'd say.
Yeah, but I agree with that point too, kind of not to veer off, but like with the YouTubers and the Instagram makeup artists, it's like I've only seen you do makeup on yourself. So that's cool, but could you really, be hired for a wedding or for a photo shoot? Not necessarily, because your face the best. So it is really different doing makeup on other people.
Absolutely, and it's knowing your environment and knowing what
the final
what's going to need to withhold, going back to that day, it was hot, so a couple of the people I did were directly in the sun, so I actually had to be out there de-shining them, touching them up, and that kind of thing. And then there was a couple people who had to get in the water, and you have to create a look and the products are slightly different. They're not all the exact same. So knowing, and I think that is definitely something that an artist would be able to identify. But going back to like those YouTubers, I think that some of them maybe aren't prepared for those type of scenarios and maybe would not necessarily know. And some of it's trial and error. Sometimes you don't know, like, what, the lighting is going to be crazy sometimes.
Right.
The last year that we did it in a post office, so it was definitely a different.
We work in extreme.
Oh wait, I think I did. That's when Baby Trash did
before,
mine.
You did it in a.
It's like a weird. It's right on the beach, but some company said, "Yeah, you can do the makeup in here." So they're like taking packages, and you're sitting there like half naked,
in a bright
window.
Yes,
It's so weird.
Open
bizarre.
window with people
you do what you
walking by.
do.
Yes,
It's not always glamorous.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yes.
But that's
So-
another factor is you were hired, and so somebody had a visual like direction for you.
Yeah.
And so taking that and being like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do more natural on her. She needs eyebrows, or kind of adjusting the direction.
I was actually talking to Makiba about this at one point, and prior to going into that scenario, we were given like some basic guidelines of what will be expected, what not to be expected, and so when we got there, we just kind of, luckily enough, or fortunately enough, or maybe there was just came with the talent, I don't know. I just kind of dove right in and said, I'm going to do what I think is going to look the best on each and every person individually. I know maybe in other situations, maybe there was a little bit more direction specifically catered to each person. But that wasn't the case for us. We lucked out, and we were able to truly create individual looks for each and every person. Right. And we got no constructive feedback. It was all positive feedback, which was really great. And, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of expecting to get some pushback on some of it because we didn't really wait for the direction. We kind of just said, okay, here's what I think's going to look right on you, and this is what we're going to do, and here's the color of your swimming suit, so let's, put this look together so that the whole picture, the background, the outfit, the hair, and everything comes together as one. And that probably was my favorite, I would say, as far as between the 2 years, because we were given a little bit more freedom to customize each look. And I think that that's what made all those pictures so
and that's why we're interviewing you, is because you took charge, and that's unheard of for the person that hired you to kind of let someone else be like, okay, do what you got to do, and then still love the result. That's exactly super powerful.
And
you're so sweet,
we were shocked,
but you're
we were like,
that's what I'm doing.
So
it could have been take it off.
It could have, it could have been, and it could have been this is what we want everybody to look like. So I was really grateful for everybody involved to allow us to, because sometimes even the photographers will say, hey, you need to.
There's some dark shadows under her eyes, or
X,
brighten
Y,
it
and Z,
up,
and they know too. But for whatever reason, we were just blessed with the most beautiful girls, and we had great product and a great location, and we were given the opportunity to truly just do what we know how to do, and I feel like it looked great. It looked really, really
Was it
good.
your favorite calendar? Was this the crooked toenail?
No.
Inside scoop story, possibly.
I already told one
Should we reveal it?
Story.
We can say it was me. No one's got to know.
I mean, people should just. It's the truth behind the Poms, right? So I'll be the
truthful.
I'll be the truthful one. 1 year. Was this the year though? No, this was not the year. That was the year before.
Okay.
The dreaded toenail year. So
Sorry.
I hate feet, and so I don't like people touching my feet, and I do my own pedicures and stuff, but can I do a French manicure on my own feet? Kind of no. And so there's a product out there, guys, that says you can just press on some toenails. So I was like, boom, it's a French manicure.
I've used them too. They're super quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Here's
cheap.
Your toenail.
All that.
Here's your toenail pedicure. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling the story. So I'm on a pool bed, and I'm trying different positions. They were awkward. It was kind of like that, kind of like, I don't even know what you call that.
Sit on your side hip.
Hip with your leg bent, and then put the other one behind you, and it was just awkward. And I, at some point...
Contortionist.
Yeah.
Is that how you call it?
Yeah.
At some point, I ruptured a little fella on my toenail. And
it twisted.
It twisted my toenail, and I don't know how you don't peep this in your editing process, but that was in the shot. Like, the shot that was chosen, it's so beautiful. It's just like, and like my tassels, not tassels, what do you call it? Fringe on my bikini were like blowing in the wind, and then I look down and I'm horrified because
your toes are facing west, but one's going north. But you know what? Nobody knows that but you. It was year 2015, page 5. No, I'm kidding.
That link will not be below, trust, okay? But I was just kind of like, how did they miss this? So the whole year, when I signed my calendar, I signed over the little toe.
Boom, easy peasy. You know,
I mean, I probably would have done it too. I'm not gonna lie. That reminds me of my daughter's obsessed with nails. Like, loves nails. But she's in dance. She's a dancer, and she does tricks and all kinds of stuff. And her coach tells me, she's like, girl, every time she comes to practice, and bing, a nail goes somewhere. Like,
it's in her hair now.
It never fails. A nail's gone somewhere. And I'm
that
like, God,
so
this girl
funny.
and her nails. She loves it. So.
Yeah, they're a quick fix, but they could be, like, disastrous at the same time.
I had some on yesterday, and I was paranoid as in put somebody's lashes or something on, and one would come off or something crazy.
Totally.
But they survived. It was great.
That is so funny. So it sounded like you had a really, like, fortunate, like, good experience with coming through the first time. But did you have any girls that were, like, directing you on the side, like, oh, I prefer my eyeliner this way, and then you're like, okay, well, like, I'll try to do it, or you notice them fixing it on the side. Were you like, like, what is the deal with that?
I try to take, going back to being an A+ version of yourself, I definitely try to take people's comfort into consideration. You know, I definitely don't want to transform somebody and then them have something crazy going on, and then they don't feel comfortable, and they don't feel beautiful, and they don't want to take the picture. But I do think that, you know, they hire us because this is something we do every day, day in and day out, for some of us 40 plus hours out of the week, sometimes even more than that. Fortunately enough, I would say for me personally, I never encountered anybody personally guiding my
telling you how to do your job.
Telling me how to do my job. But I could say that definitely in the session there was a little bit more guidance for the other artist, and it can get a little challenging for sure. One, it takes up more time, and there's a time crunch, so we're given a lot amount of time to get each girl in and out, and anything that needs to be fixed and done within this time frame, as well as they're getting their hair done. Right. So we're sharing a small space with 2 other people getting their hair done, sometimes 2 other artists, 3 artists, you know, whatever. There's X amount of people. So it does get challenging if somebody is constantly
nitpicking,
and with that mirror up, looking every 5 minutes.
Yes,
to what
you
you're
know,
doing
or
so
do this. I need you to fix it this, or can I see the brush and let me, you know.
No way, they do that.
I mean, it's happened. Definitely, it's happened where they'll grab the brush and kind of fix it a little bit.
To me, that would be like, no.
Yeah,
sit down.
I've never done that. Even when I get my hair cut, I'll just go cry in my car. You know, like I would never be like, I don't really like it. I just take what I'm given and push it along. You know,
it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah. You know, I mean, I definitely don't want somebody. If somebody's like, ooh, you know, like,
what? Hey,
how could that even happen?
You know?
It can happen. Well, as a woman of color, sometimes, you know, people don't know.
You're absolutely right.
Maybe they know how to do some certain shades, and then when it comes to darker shades, they don't know what they're doing, or they get, I don't know, colorblind. I don't know what happens, and so there might be times where you're just like, what did you just do? But I probably would. I don't even know what I would do. Where you would just,
you know, there were like one
politely
scenario,
remove yourself and fix it.
One of the guidelines to stay within was like to not add really black. So we respect that. I'm not a really big black user anyway, unless it's necessary or would call for that particular look. I think like on one of the girls, I actually did black liner because for her it needed to be done. But it's more challenging when somebody asks us to do something that we know we're not supposed to do. And that did happen. That did happen. Not to me, but it was to the other girl doing makeup. It was like, can you darken this up a little bit more? And can you
That's how I wear it.
I usually wear it darker than that. And
but what would you do if like you do that and then the person who hired you is saying like, I told you not to do the darkening.
You know, that's where, in my personal opinion, I probably would have maybe just been like, all right, well, let's get this cleared first because it's harder to remove makeup. Like I can keep adding and making things darker or brighter, or but
taking that back is a whole other story.
Taking it back is like
start from scratch.
Almost, and that when you're in a time crunch, you gotta be strategic about those types of things. So fortunately enough for me, everybody was very
they loved what that you
yeah,
gave them.
you know,
That's
they
good.
were pretty open, and nobody had. I mean, I tried to ask the right questions in the beginning. You know, try to get a feel. Looked at I did my research too. Looked at what they looked like before. Maybe asked, you know, if you would have fixed anything or changed anything. Would you have preferred this or that?
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And a couple people, you know, were like, well, I would have preferred maybe a little bit more gold than silver or whatever. And absolutely, you know, and if those are easy changes. So, like from year to year. That's kind of where I went with that. But, you know, there's definitely people that have their own style and really wanted that to be shown in their pictures. And rightfully, they have the right to their own opinion.
Me and Makiba were talking about how that, you know, MAC is plastered on the calendar itself after it's produced.
Yes.
So if somebody like goes over in the corner and starts adding stuff and looking a damn fool, it looks like you did that. You know?
And it's funny
Hands
that
off.
you say that because I do people. As a matter of fact, I did a girl yesterday, and she said something about like it looking crazy or not that what I did look. She's like, I just don't want it to look crazy, and I was like, I don't do anything crazy. Like, you'll go tell people I did this. Like, I'm only going to do what's going to look great out there because you're going to turn around and say, I did it. So we're going to come to this agreement where I'm proud of what I put out and you're proud of what you're walking with, and we're happy medium there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it does get, that can get challenging with people who are set on a certain way of doing things. I think that, like you said, they hire us because we have a skill and a vision and able to take the whole picture of what's the background going to look like, what's your, whatever you're going to wear going to look like, what are the accessories look like. All those things go together and complete the entire look. And when you want to alter those things, it can compromise the look a little bit. So if I could give any feedback, I would definitely say, you know, be polite with some of the alterations that you want to make to the artist.
Delicate.
I know, right?
Like, true professional.
Do your research
here.
too as a potential client. Like, do I want to hire this person because this is their style? You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Not everybody is as talented as you to where they can like switch it up, you know, for each particular thing.
Oh, you guys are giving me too much credit, but I just think that, you know, the calendars is different than what you see every day when you go to a game. So the makeup should look a little different than what you wear every day on to your job, versus the calendar versus the game. So when you do come with specific direction on how you want your look to be, I think it's respectful to collaborate with the artist versus just fixing it or adding it and changing it yourself. It's kind of,
would you say it's
disrespectful? It could be kind of offensive, I guess. You know, and to a certain extent, it could be kind of offensive. I'm okay with taking feedback if you're really uncomfortable with, let's say, a red lip, and you would prefer more of a pink lip like that. I'm not offended by that. But if we've created a whole look and you go in and you change the whole shape of something, then I'm like, okay, like, could we have talked about this before you, like, just went on and changed it? And
I wouldn't even want to touch him again. Me, my little bratty self. But, I mean, I know there was one game, and, you know, for game day, I don't know if you come over for games, but, you know, we have hair and makeup, but you're really only supposed to get touched up, but some girls hog it, but whatever.
It's more like if you need help putting your lashes on or you feel like you struggle with, you know, getting more full coverage for the base or something, they'll come in and like touch it up for you.
It's supposed to be touch up.
Touch up.
Some people hog it, so it's not so much touch up. But one time I got in the chair and it was it might have been a night game. I don't remember.
I've experienced the same.
Where it was
it's
just,
true.
I got up from the chair and because I don't do smoky eye well, I barely do anything well, but the smoky eye is why I sat in the chair and maybe put on my lashes for me. But, you know, there was a very darkening of my eyes, very raccoonish. Very uncomfortable, and I remember when I got the mirror in my hand, I almost wanted to cry because I was like, I look crazy. I remember coming to you and I'm like, does this look? And it was like almost time to go out for the game. And I'm like, how do you fix this? It was so frightening.
Because it will affect like the game.
Yeah.
You'll be standing there like, oh my gosh, I look like an idiot or something.
Well,
and that'll
be that
distract
one picture
you.
in the photo gallery where you're like looking up and then you look like a...
Or you're on the screen.
Oh,
You're like,
gosh.
girl.
Who is that?
Who is that?
You're like, who did that?
And
Yeah.
I did not know how to fix it. I felt guilty even touching my makeup because she had, spent her time in doing it, and I was really appreciative, but I was just like, I can't go out like this, man.
So you could just say, next time if you're ever in that type of scenario in any makeup, can you soften this out? Soften the edge.
Even if somebody else had hopped in the chair, because it's such a, like, runway, like,
Get in,
get out, and somebody else was in there. It wasn't like I could go back to her, so I don't know what I did.
Well, it's different because I know who you're talking about, and
Yeah.
I experienced the same thing. It would be like, I need help with my lashes. And then they'd be like, oh, honey, boo-boo, no, let me, you're doing this too far down, and like, your eyes are this and that, like, let me change it. And they're like wiping stuff off. And you're like, okay, I kind of just asked for lashes. Please stop altering my eyes,
Right.
And so it's kind of like, flip side, you take offense, like, so what, you think my makeup's busted? I know how to do it for game day,
Yeah.
like, and then you go back and you're like, what do they do?
And then you don't have enough time to really try
Exactly.
to fix it. It's super awkward. I
It
felt
is
awkward
awkward.
and guilty. Like, she's never going to do my makeup again because, they take the pictures and they're looking at you as you go out. And I know I had to try to do something. I don't even know what I tried to do to soften the black eye look. But it's uncomfortable. You definitely want to be respectful. And
yes, and that's
polite
where I
and
feel
not a
like
diva.
the right questions come into play. I mean, if they're experienced and they've been doing it for a long time, I feel like maybe that's something that they should kind of already know and respect.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody new and hasn't necessarily done those types of events or makeup for the girls,
yeah.
then they wouldn't know necessarily, where to go from there. But I definitely think that, asking the right questions and saying, like, what are you uncomfortable with?
Yeah.
And then
Going from there,
yeah, or if it's like an example, there's somebody that we did makeup on who has a very beautiful girl, a little bit more androgynous, and often in her pictures they do a lot of dark black around her eye. And in my professional opinion, I don't necessarily think that's as complimentary to her. And her brows are darkened in a lot, and they're already naturally full, naturally dark. She probably doesn't even need any product in them, to be honest. So when it came time to doing her makeup that year, I gave the other artist some suggestions, and I was like, let's try to not use any black. Let's skip all the black in general, and let's go with what's going to really complement her eye color and her eye shape and really just kind of soften up her look. And looking back, nothing against anybody else, but I definitely think that it's probably one of her best images I've ever seen. She looked so phenomenal, and it's a minor tweak of taking out like that harsh black liner that just wasn't complimenting. It can be masculine. I mean, the new trend of makeup has really come from like, it's drag. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
the
that's what I
contour
meant
and the
to
highlight
say.
came from drag.
Well, even
from
bold
making
brows
men
are very
looking-
popular right now.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between like a bold brow and a very like sculpted brow. You know, like one of the girls that I work with has naturally a very bold brow. She doesn't need to fill it in. She looks phenomenal, and that's the trend in like a lot of places. And then there's people who have a bold brow naturally, and then they fill it in more, and then it looks almost aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
And that's, you don't necessarily, you kind of want to avoid that unless you're really trying to intimidate somebody. But, like that darker, aggressive brow can, not necessarily be flattering when you're wearing the most, like, elegant swimsuit and some earrings and, and you're on a beach.
Just
and
trying
then
to be like, I was woke
and you
up
look
like this.
mad at somebody
Yeah.
because your brows are too dark, So
That's sultry. Sultry mad.
yes, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm taking advantage.
Oh my gosh.
Take that out. But yes, there's definitely ways that it could go south fast if you don't know where to put certain things or what type of tone to put it with. So
that's very true. And now you've kind of been discussing this already, and I think I know your answer. It's going to be kind of like catering to each girl.
Yeah.
But have you ever had somebody come through out here in Yakima at the Mac store that's like, I'm auditioning for, the Seagulls over on the other side? Would you, like, what advice do you give them? Or how do you cater their
So
makeup
I
to?
haven't necessarily had them
You haven't had
audition
that?
for that, but I've definitely have people that have like ran for like Miss Washington,
Oh,
Miss
wow, okay.
Yakima or
Yep.
Yakima County, that kind of stuff.
Would you say it's kind of similar to the NFL cheerleader look? Or how is it different?
I think that it's, it's definitely catered for sure. No two people look the same. I mean, obviously unless they're twins or something, but
You can't just take a makeup mask and then like stamp it on someone else. That's not how it works, you know.
because everybody's eye shape, lip shape, cheeks, the structure of everybody's face is so different.
Is that
So
what
you
you're thinking
can
about
say
when you're
things-
like
yes,
looking like
yes,
Picasso? Like
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it's funny that you said the head tilt because
Yes.
a girl I work with, she doesn't work with me anymore. She's like, I tell everybody you taught me and tilt your head. I'm like, I didn't teach you to tilt your head, but it's just the thing that I do.
Yeah.
Habit. You just got to look at the symmetry because it's symmetry. You can change and alter somebody's face by adding something, in the wrong place. I did a girl too, 1 year that had naturally just deep set eyes. And I think that for a brief moment, they wanted me to make it just a little bit darker. And the artist in me was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You might get mad at me, but it's going to make it look even more deep set in the photo. And it's not going to complement her eye. Yeah.
Sunken place.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like I said, fortunately enough, they were like, okay.
I see
was
what
like,
you're
let
saying.
me shade some other places and I can enhance this. We'll get some great lashes on. And, lashes change everything, by the way. Like,
they?
lashes can make
Really?
the crappiest artist look like the best one. Let me just tell you.
Wow.
But, yeah, so going back to that look, I think with those types of makeups, you want to look timeless, but you want to stand out a little bit. I mean, I think that having a little bit more of a bolder lip, not necessarily like a bright pink or a red or anything like that, but like a stained effect, people are naturally drawn to it. I actually read an article that said if you have a red lip on, that people are more keen to listen to you and it retain. So try
that
it.
to an
Try
interview,
it sometime.
yeah.
Show up in an interview with a red lipstick or something
get the
bold,
job.
and you'll get the job.
Finding the right red would be challenge number one.
Viva
Oh my
Glam
gosh.
1 would look great on you, by the way. MAC Viva Glam 1.
I'm gonna write that
would
down.
look good. That would look good. It looks good on a lot of people, but that one would look great on you.
Oh, please be the glam.
Yeah, so I just think that when you're for auditioning for that, I mean, it's highlighting the right places. I think highlights are definitely fun and beautiful, and I think that they look great in auditions. I'm pro more of a bold lip or something a little bit more vivid, and I think just shading lightly in the right places, because overdoing it, you want, especially in this scenario where you're auditioning for your skill, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
You don't want too much makeup because then they're not going to pay attention to what you're doing, but you want to make a
Statement.
impact when you walk in, and you want to look like I'm here and I'm confident and I look great. And so I think enhancing those things, those features that make you look phenomenal, is only going to help you get
I love
get
that.
the
That's
job.
so true.
Yeah.
It is true. I remember,
Yeah.
I don't remember what year that I started to just, instead of worrying about makeup for auditions, because you got, 2 days to figure out your final routine and you don't really have a lot of time. And I was like, the day of the audition, I don't want to be worrying about my makeup. Like, I can do my hair, but I'm getting my makeup done. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Leave it to the professionals. And it made a huge difference in terms of just, I felt ready.
Mental clarity
I felt on. I didn't have to, you just have the look. The look is done. You don't have to obsess about it. It's just all technique and dance and getting your...
Right, because that's not the skill that we're bringing to the table. It's supposed to be our performance and our dance skills, right? So, like, makeup, I was telling Makiba in an earlier episode, I put bronzer all over my face the first year I auditioned because she said, powder your face, the lights are bright. And I'm over there looking like the Tin Man. I had no idea. Like, I just didn't know, like, oh, okay, I need to put powder on my face. Like, no, it was bad.
Face, but...
It was bad, girl. I'll try to...
Like, but you don't want to.
Yeah, but you don't want to. It was very awful. But,
it's strategically placed, but
the things we don't
learned.
necessarily know that stuff going in,
No.
or even years with practice or seeing makeup on ourselves. You can't replicate that
No,
you need Mickey.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody
It's
get a
hard.
Mickey in your life.
I'm
It's
a good
hard.
teacher, though. I can teach
Absolutely.
some stuff,
Yeah.
I'm
teach
a
some
lost
good
cause.
makeup.
Yeah.
But speaking about like talent and auditions, you know, I'm trying to put this delicately, but it seems like if you're a cheerleading director, I'm sure you're trying to find the perfect balance of great looks, great body, and, you know, and dance ability, right? But do you think that there's like that point where you're really just trying to sacrifice one before the other in terms of just thinking makeup can save the day? I'm going to get somebody who's not.
Hey, somebody has a lot of people have made the team on their looks alone. Let's be real.
True.
So maybe your look is your talent, and you're just gonna clap it out and smile.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. That's
or
what
the
I
saying,
did.
fake it till you become it. There you
Oh,
go.
I
So
love
fake
that.
it till you become it.
But there's also the flip where there might just, you know, be a phenomenal dancer, but
We've
you
seen
know,
that too.
that face though,
Yeah.
and makeup, you know, can.
And it's not even just like, oh, you're not pretty. It's more like she's asked them multiple times in front of people, like, hey, you need a little bit more glam makeup. And they kind of don't listen. So it's like, well, you can't see that you have
makeup
eyebrows.
It can
It's
get
tricky.
really tricky, you know. I mean, you don't want to offend people. You know, the
Right.
idea, we're in a generation right now where we're uplifting females and
Absolutely.
empowering us to be who we are and
Right.
look
How
you want to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so sometimes, you know, if somebody's like constantly, I mean, when I first started with the brand, I'm not going to lie, there was a specific person above me who suggested, like, dye your hair. And I was like,
Dye your hair what?
I was like, first of all, you hired me like this. Like, don't tell me to change who I am because now I'm hired.
Right.
Like,
Right.
then why didn't you tell me that in the beginning so I could have decided whether I wanted to be a part of this or not, you know? So I was slightly offended because I was like, what's wrong with how I look? Like, what,
Right.
you know, so I understand but on the flip side, I've also been a manager, so I know where I could see an opportunity where I'm like, girl, if you just did this one thing, it will change
your life.
your life. I swear on it,
Right,
you know?
right.
And I'm confident in it. So it's never to like belittle somebody. It's really to uplift them, but understanding that, you know, there's got to be a happy medium of going, okay,
Right.
so like you said, you have no eyebrows, so maybe you don't want to have that Instagram eyebrow, but maybe take a brow gel to make them look a little bit more pronounced. I mean, eyebrows are the frame to your face, so, you know, frame the picture and make it, you know, it's a pretty
Right.
picture. You got to put it in a frame.
Right,
You don't
right.
just stick one up with the thumbtack on
Oh, that's
on
a
the
beautiful
wall.
analogy.
You know, you put it in a nice frame. So definitely
Not a
frame it.
thumbtack. Like, I'm just kidding.
And you could probably see like the direction they're trying to go. Like, oh, you know, I could see that she's trying to do the contour look, but the color's too dark.
Or
Like,
the
hey
color-
girl,
Right.
if you use this color, it'll
Yeah,
get the look you're
yeah,
going for, but not
absolutely, yeah,
you're missing the mark a
absolutely.
little bit. So
Yep.
kind of like
Yeah, and guiding people because, you know, there's
Yeah.
just
That's
so
the
much
key.
product out there. You know, there's so much product.
It is
and
confusing.
what looks good on everybody or one person is not the same for the next. So that's a little bit challenging too. In not to go back to what bring up old stuff, I guess, but the second year we were guided a little bit more on a specific lip color. And that, like, the first year was a little bit more, we had more free range, and we definitely customized each and every one. Like, I can say
yeah.
none of the girls we did had the same lip on. Because they were all wearing something different.
Yeah.
The
Different skin tones.
scene was different. You know, some people were on a chair, some people were in the grass, some people were in the sand, on a boat, like in the
Yeah.
water. So all of those things were going to create different looks. But the following year, we were given a little bit more direction on something, a more specific color. And my only issue with that is that the palette needs to be bigger. The color palette needs to be larger.
That actually,
say
should we
that
bring it on
again.
into our locker topic?
You know, it's, you know, when you have a diverse team of people who have different hair color, different skin color, different, you know, ethnicities, the same color isn't going to look right on every single one of them.
Why is that so hard for people to understand?
It is hard. It is hard. So, you know, I may have sneaked a little bit of change in some of them to
Different
better
liner
fit
or gloss. Yeah.
them. Yeah, for sure. But if I could give any feedback on that, it's definitely don't cookie cutter to one lip color.
Just for the sake of humanity, don't do it.
I mean, there's some colors that could look good. Like I was telling you, I love Viva Glam 5. That color to me, you could pair with any lip pencil and it would alter it to every single person. And it's amazing. It looks... But particularly the color that was picked isn't necessarily a color that looked phenomenal on deeper skin.
Right.
Or even more like olive skin. So...
That was disappointing.
It is. Yeah. It's challenging. I mean, not that it's... I mean, as an artist, you can kind of make anything work. I've learned to work with the most minimal product and make somebody look fabulous. But if you have the opportunity to not have to narrow it down to one color, I would definitely say broaden it to maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And leave that option open a little bit so that each person looks their best and still is in uniform,
right?
But is catered to each person because not everybody looks the same and... I don't know. You just all shouldn't wear the same lipstick. No. I don't know. I'm just not with that. But I'm not the director or anything like that. So I mean,
you should be like a consultant for the team. Like they should have that. Just like we should have like, you know, a designated fitness person. There should be somebody that like caters the look for each year because it could be different. Like you said, the team can be different, and you know, don't just.
And there
give
might be something that's better out there
lipstick.
too, right? I mean, you know, we. Our squad did have a squad lip color for game day, which was a bright
fuchsia,
magenta, pink Girl About Town. And
I was wondered about that, why that color. But
I have no idea the history of Girl About Town, but
it's a beautiful color. It's one of the first lipsticks I ever owned, but I always wondered why it was that color.
Probably something bright and bold enough for game day, I would imagine, just like so that your lips stand out.
Absolutely, because you know what? If you have a nude lip on, it can get very unilip, like or floating lip. So you don't. It's either all teeth or like, you know, you
need
see
something
your
to
mouth
frame
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you guys actually did my makeup for my wedding a few months ago, and that was the best advice because I've always loved like nude lips, and you guys were like, "Hey, like it's your wedding, don't." And I'm so glad I went with the other color that was more like rosy and
sometimes it's hard to convince people because they're comfortable with what they're. Yeah. But you know, it's going back to that knowing like what are you going to look like in that picture in 10 years from now, and are you going to be happy with
no lips?
That look? No, that's you know I learned that the hardest way because I wore a nude lip one year and I went to go visit some friends in Seattle actually. And we took a bunch of pictures, and this was before we had camera phones, and I developed the film, and I was like,
oh, shit.
Why?
In there with their Sharpie coloring your lips in.
It's the worst. And I feel like I naturally have, like, just naturally full lips. So to see my picture and have, like... to see my mouth, and I was like all teeth. I was like, oh my! I can't even post these anywhere. I was so embarrassed. I was like, ugh.
I bet you still looked amazing. But...
No, girl, I'm telling you, it was terrible. And from that point, I was like, never again will I ever do that type of
when
lip.
When is nude lip ever a good idea?
You don't like nude lip?
Well, nude lip doesn't work on me.
And nude lip is okay. But so like, with makeup, it's ideally it's you. Instagram trend has changed makeup temporarily. I think that's my personal opinion.
I hope so.
I was raised in a makeup era where you focus on one feature and then everything else is to enhance that one feature. But now with trend, you know, it's a bold brow, bold eyeshadow, bold contour, bold lip. Like everything is there.
Like you said, drag. More drag.
Yes. Wow. It's definitely more drag. So I like to do more. So I feel like if I'm going to do a smoky eye, I would do more of a nude lip. But I would definitely pair it with something to create some dimension around
like
it.
a liner.
Yeah, definitely liner. Not a nude liner because it creates that floating no mouth lip.
So that's the trick. Okay.
Darker liner.
So a little bit darker liner to create the shape and so that you still have a mouth because it's quite frightening without. But
that's what I think.
But the nude lip is kind of more. I don't know how to say this without being.
I want to hear it. Tell me.
Truth behind the Poms.
Yes, it's definitely more of a like. I guess we call it the porn star look.
Oh, it is.
It's more
like
the porn star.
Do a circle around with liner and then like light.
So
I never
not
thought
that
about
she's a
that.
porn star, but you know Pamela Anderson is a good example.
No, yeah, the dark
and I think
liner.
What's her name? Bridget.
Bardot?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was known for the dark smoky with that nude lip. So it's definitely more the porn lip. So anytime I do it, I'm like, yeah, I love me a porn lip. Don't get me wrong. Like, I totally do. I totally do. But, you know, I mean, you can't be a porn star every day, can you?
No. Should not
I'm
be.
just like, yeah, right.
I mean,
my personal
or
life.
maybe at night, just
that's
you know,
true.
only for a shift, right?
Yeah.
You don't do it the whole day, right? So you got to have an alternative. You
Yes.
can't.
Oh, I love that. I never thought about it
I
like
never
that.
did either.
Truth behind
Well,
the palms.
clearly I haven't had a porn star lip. Might have to hook me up, Nikki.
I got a good one for you too. Yeah, we can make something happen. We can make something happen.
Oh,
I
that's
love
too
this.
funny.
There's so much
But
there.
yeah, so
Yes.
when you wear like a darker, smoky eye and that bright pink lip, it's
It's a bit much.
a little bit. It can be. It can
Yeah.
be.
No, that makes sense. Well, there definitely was also for our promo appearances another lip color that I don't think was definitely as complimentary on everyone. It was more. It looks great on everybody else, but deeper.
I
tones.
didn't like it either.
You didn't like it on
No,
you?
I don't even know why I didn't like it, but maybe it was kind of because it was more on the nudie, so I felt like it was floating, like you said. That was like the color I especially felt that,
Okay.
where I was like, my lips look weird. They just looked weird.
Weird.
What was
There were-
ours? Fanfare,
Yeah.
and then for the deeper skin tones, they picked Chatterbox, but it still wasn't right.
No. Chatterbox just was a hot
this.
mess before they got to Fanfare.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Chatterbox is a pretty color, but I wouldn't personally pick it as a uniform color, like one for
Chatterbox.
everybody.
Right.
It's definitely
Well,
not.
they did.
They sure did.
It's.
I don't know. Maybe it's
know.
maybe it's
I'm like, who picks them?
I don't
Yeah.
know. But maybe they need a
Do all the directors collaborate on like?
They do have an annual meeting.
And do they decide together, kind of like this is a?
I think each team,
each
it's
team
like for them
probably
to
team.
share their ideas.
Oh,
but I
okay.
literally think that any colors, like uniform, like final decision is left to the director of at that time. So, for some reason, someone consulted or she picked the color. That's how we
yeah.
ended up with those colors. But GAT has been like, Girl About Town has been like the color since I can even remember.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
It's
when
a
that
beautiful
started.
color.
It
It's
is
definitely
beautiful.
a beautiful color.
It might have been the new shade that launched, and it was like, oh, this is great, and stuck with it for years and never did a little refresh of
Right.
seeing what else is out there that might be, just as effective. But I didn't mind Gap. Chatterbox before they got to Fanfare, and even Fanfare for me was just like, no,
Yeah, it was pretty
doesn't
bad.
work.
Yeah, I personally probably wouldn't choose because there's another thing to take into consideration that I don't know. A lot goes behind makeup. It can be very complex, and I understand trying to narrow it down to specifics. But like, let's take for instance your natural lip color. So when you don't, and your natural lip color and my natural lip color, it's gonna alter how a color looks. So it could
yeah,
be
true.
complementary to somebody. Or just not complimentary at all.
Right. The
So
undertones.
So choosing,
and-
yes. So choosing a lip color with some of those undertones that I've seen, I'm like, I don't know if
Ouch.
it's as complimentary to
Right.
somebody with maybe a more pigmented lip, naturally pigmented lip. That
Yeah.
plays a role. It's a game changer. It can be.
Or like some reds or whatever can make your teeth look yellow, while some can make them look white. You
Blue
know, so the
reds
blue,
make them
yeah,
look more white.
GAT was
Right.
definitely a blue
It's
fuchsia.
It's a blue pink. Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Yes.
Okay.
So it was flattering for the most part, and it was
yes.
so bold that
It
it could
is,
cover
yes,
up
and that
any
is a
color.
great color. It really is a great color, and it had a lot
it's
of
not a red,
pigmentation to it, so
you know?
it was definitely, yeah, for sure. I think they should consider D for Danger sometime. It's such a pretty color.
I'll have to check that one
Write
out.
that down. We're gonna have that in the link below.
It's such a pretty color. Like
D
you
for
would, you would
Danger?
love it. You would love it.
Ooh.
It's like
What does it look like? Is it a pink
Goodness.
one?
no, I would say it's like a. That's a hard color to describe, but I would say it's a form of red. It's
Okay.
considered a red,
Okay.
but it's not like vivid,
Okay,
bright red.
so it's more muted.
It's a
Burgundy
deep,
or-
not burgundy, because it has like a bluer base,
Okay,
bluer pinker base. It's I would say it's almost as if you took Girl About Town and mixed it with a burgundy, and they made a baby, and it would have been
Ooh, I'm
that
already feeling
one.
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So that would be
I'm already
like,
feeling it.
and that's why I love that one.
It's more muted. It's not
love
like
that
in your
one.
face like GAT.
but it's still
Bold.
bold.
That sounds
it's
bold.
so pretty, like so. I just think that, like, think about when you talk about makeup, I mean, you could just, there's so many avenues. We could go forever.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, maybe when you get into like December, like maybe changing it to like that color because it's more
cute.
season, you know, like you change your palms and things like that too, you know, like why not change the lip color a little
Especially
bit?
based on the uniform. Like I don't think our makeup was really ever based around like what uniform we'd be wearing. Right?
True.
I mean,
and it could have been. And it could have been.
Maybe
because like with those action green.
And oh God.
Action green and Girl About Town.
We literally looked like, I don't know, gymnastic Barbie. Like, huge hair, bright lips, bright outfit.
Yes,
like,
yes.
crazy.
That's a good one. That's a good way to
super
describe
tan,
that.
almost orange. Like,
yes.
So much going on.
Oh,
So
no, now I'm doubting my
lip-
whole, like, career choices. How did I allow this to happen?
I
hate those
You
photos.
you guys look so great. And honestly, it ends up coming together just fine.
It
But if
does.
you wanted to, like,
Take it to the
really
next
fine-tune
level.
it,
They
you
should,
could
they
definitely
should.
tweak it to the outfit, the season.
For
It could
sure.
definitely...
Because we're getting
Just
into all those,
enhance it,
because we're getting into
yeah.
all of the darker colors for the winter uniforms. for the
Yes,
most part.
and
Santa
that's where I
outfits.
think that D for Danger would look so pretty with
Right.
that Santa
But,
outfit.
like, summertime,
oh,
do the
man.
Gap. Because it's
Yep.
bright and...
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Or when
totally...
it's breast cancer awareness, that pink is perfect.
Right.
You
That's
know?
true.
But
But switch it up
there's
a little
definitely
bit.
different ways to switch it up and have multiple colors that you could play around
that
with.
match everyone.
Yeah.
All skin tones.
Yes.
Play this episode at the annual directors meeting. Thank you.
For
Get some
real.
ideas.
Hire Mickey as a consultant.
Yeah, consult.
Yes. You should, hire a makeup artist with good experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
My stomach's growling. I'm ready for minors.
Oh, I don't blame you.
oh my gosh.
Miners is the plug. It
Yeah.
really
We
is.
will not be leaving the area without stuffing our bellies with some
Curly fries and a huge burger
and a shake.
and a shake.
Yes. Oh man, and they sell like a side of nacho cheese for your fries.
Ooh.
Forget about it.
Okay,
It's so
I'm
delicious.
doing that. Okay. Thanks for having it.
It's been so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
You're
so much for having me.
It's so nice to hear your perspective on the power of
Everything.
makeup.
And all
Nikki.
my you know,
I think you're
wanna be
very
real
well
strategic.
spoken.
Oh my
about-
gosh.
about it, but you
No
know.
editing necessary. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Nikki might have a podcast of our own soon, so get ready for that. We'll send you the link.
Maybe we're working on it. That
Yeah.
one I'm talking trash. No, I'm kidding.
Love it. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Well, we end our every episode with our little bit of trash talking that we call locker talk.
All right. Uh-oh.
Brittany, do you want to break it down?
What do I gotta say? What
Sure.
do I
So
gotta say?
basically, I don't even. Why do I always struggle with locker talk? But it's just kind of like, you know, the guys talk in the locker room. We're going to talk like just even some more truth, right? Mm-hmm. We kind of touched on the topic we were going to discuss today about
Lipstick
like
diaries.
just, lipstick diaries, having different colors for different skin tones and really catering to that. But maybe I could change it a little bit. Is there anybody that, like, when you're at the grocery store and you see somebody and you're like, oh my God, girl, I wish I could just blend out your eyeshadow. Like, is there any trends that you just wish would go away, or like people that you're like, wow, here's my card, come see me?
Well, as far as a trend going away, I realize that trends, are temporary.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really big on the whole like androgynous contour and highlight.
Yeah.
I definitely.
What
like
does
more
that
of
entail?
Oh,
Just very
a
like
lot of
extreme.
product.
Okay.
It's a lot of product.
Right, where it's
So
like
the cream
Literally,
with the powder on top, and
like,
then
then you do
a
like the
whole lot
Lion
of
King
yes.
look around your face.
Oh,
and
no,
just-
girl, I can't do it. First
if
of
you-
all,
if it
nobody
looks like
has time for that. Like, when do you make the time to do that? Like,
If
my
it looks
daughter
like I
is
can
eating my.
scrape your nail,
And
your
you
makeup off.
because if you've seen it in person, it,
Is it really
looks
bad?
like that. Yes,
Oh God,
it
I
does.
cannot.
And that's
Okay.
one that I'm old school. Like I said, I've been with doing makeup for almost 14 years, so it's hard for me to get behind that. I mean, I'll do it if people ask me. I'll do it because it's a trend, and it only helps me, broaden my skills because some people want that,
Yeah.
and be able to offer that as one of my services. But that's a trend that I didn't jump ship to. I've always contoured and highlighted for a long, long time. But I'm really about making it believable.
And just not look so heavy, right? Like the layers and layers.
I mean, if
and
you
layers
question
on
if that's
end.
what somebody truly looks like, that's where I draw the line personally. I don't want to.
deviate from reality.
Yes, I know. So I worked with this guy, and not that this matters, but he was a straight guy doing makeup, and I hired him because he had this charismatic personality, super handsome, and was an artist. Like he could draw like nobody, and part of the interviewing process is to do a makeover. And I said, okay. He's like, well, I don't do makeup, so I don't really like. But I go, you know what? How about this? I'm gonna do one side and you do the other side.
Copy. Yeah.
So he aced it. And it's rare to be able to match somebody else's work because it's a different hand, you know, different eye. So he did such an incredible job. And I completely forgot where I was going with this story. I totally drew a blank.
But just with the contour and reality and believable.
Oh, yeah. I don't like I figured it out for you. If you can't make it believable, then...
But he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's just... Yeah, I just like to make people look like themselves. Yeah. You know, and... But what I was actually going to say is that a girl who normally does that very prominent makeup came in one day without it, and he legitimately did not recognize her at all. Ooh. Helped the whole encounter, didn't call her by her name or anything because he didn't recognize her. And I was all, ooh, girl, see, I can't have all that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think about? I mean, maybe it's my dirty little mind, but you know, if you're one of those people that wears so much product, like, you know, where it's layers and layers on end, and I think about sex or just, you know, like,
your face is sliding off, and it's...
You know what I mean? Or like, hello, you're at a guy's home, and you're, you know, doing your thing, and his pillows look like they were just... I don't even
dragged
know.
through the dirt.
Exactly.
You know?
Like how do you comfortably...
You just turn it over.
When you're worried about your face getting smushed into a pillow and your whole makeup and eyes and everything coming off, and then you spend the night and you wake up in the morning and like, what do
walk of shame, you know?
It's preference. I don't get me wrong. Like, I love, like, when we go to a concert, I will pull out all those draggy tricks and like beat my whole face down.
Right.
Like, I pull out glitter and everything I can pull out that I don't get to normally, nor wouldn't normally do on a day-to-day basis. Right. And I understand that there's people that are extremely, or maybe people have picked them apart, so they use makeup to mask things that maybe people have drugged them down for. That's true. So I understand that, you know, makeup is fun.
It is
really,
fun.
At the end of the day, it's fun. Can be transformative, or it can be enhancing, and if you don't want to wear any at all, I mean, that's beautiful too. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that it's preference, and I think that there's a time and there's a place for different looks, and makeup is an accessory, you know, to the rest of your outfit, and it should, you know, if you're dressed, I mean, think about this. If you, it's kind of changed a little bit, but if you go back, think about Kim K way back, you know, and when she was in a glamorous gown, you know, her makeup matched that, and if she was in a, you know, sweatsuit, and her makeup matched that, you know, and so it really is a part of your overall look. So I think that, you know, I'm wearing a hooded sweater, and I'm not gonna personally go
full glam,
beat my face,
eyebrow.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna look like I'm in a hooded sweater, but but if I go to work and I'm wearing a nice dress and my hair is curled and I want it to match that, I feel like they should all they go hand in hand.
For sure.
And time and place go hand in hand as well. And age appropriate goes hand in hand, you know. I think, you know, I've seen
too much highlight on mature skin is not good.
Right. You know, and so, but I'm also about, like, I mean, hey, if you're about to go out how you want to go.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too, is like, unfortunately, probably in the privacy of my home, I've contoured the shit out of my face and been like, yes, I tried it. You know, like, you just want to try it because it's trendy. Yeah. I don't particularly love Kim Kardashian West or whatever, but she's trendy. And it's fun to see, like, what she's doing and, like, try it. Yeah. You know?
And, I mean, if you look at her, I mean, you can see in 2009 is when she hired probably Mario or somebody, whoever it was. Her makeup changed completely, like, right then from before. But it just, I mean, I like to just empower everybody and just be open, I guess. Be open to different looks.
Yeah. Well, we both have daughters. I want to end this wonderful episode on a note of just how you talk to your daughter about makeup. Because when you mentioned that makeup is an accessory, especially when Simone was super curious about, this is my daughter, who's 11, during my time when I was cheering, just wanting to try makeup. She's seen me putting all this stuff on, and I really didn't want her being totally caught up into the look. And I was just like my uniform, just like my pom-poms, the makeup is like part of my uniform. It's just an accessory, kind of the same philosophy. And I didn't want her to have any sort of like, I need this to be beautiful. I didn't want that planted in her mind at all, but it's just like you said, more of an enhancement. But how do you talk to your daughter? Her daughter is adorable, so wonderful. Kyla.
So she has a makeup artist for mom, so she definitely loves makeup. She loves makeup, and she's pretty good at it, actually. So she's a dancer.
Oh my gosh.
And she's had to do her own makeup a couple times for her pictures.
Okay.
So she's pretty versed, but you know, she doesn't wear it outside like to go anywhere. She's 8 years old, so I'm not gonna let her go full beat anywhere. Like I'm like, no, even though she wants to. One thing is that I try to focus on is really pitching it to her, because yours is more a part of your outfit, and for me, it's either my job or I really look at it as an artistry form. Yeah. So I don't want to stop her from ever feeling like she can't express herself through it. Because it's definitely like she likes to do masks on herself. She's not that great. I mean, she will maybe one day. Yeah. But she likes to experiment with it, and she's gotten pretty good, you know, and likes to try and stuff like that. But I really just focus on like how beautiful she is naturally, and how that is just a fun part of dressing up, and it's not something that, you know, you don't wear out. Mommy wears it because it's part of her job. I have to wear it to work. And then on my days, you know, when I go out, I just feel comfortable with covering a couple of things. And if when you get old enough, you feel like you want to cover a couple of things, I can show you how to do that. But in the meantime, you can do it for fun at home whenever you want, and it's not a necessity for anybody in life. It's just something we like to do for fun.
Yeah, it doesn't define you and your beauty, but it's a fun hobby to have.
And it can define your artistry, you know, and
that's
be creative, you know. But if you want to draw flowers down your arm and have a sleeve, go for it, you know, and do whatever you want with it. Just be fun with it, and don't think that it's not necessary part of your life. It's a fun part of your life.
Cute.
What a wonderful philosophy. Thank you so much.
It's fun. It comes right off. Anytime I'm like, girl, if you don't like it comes off. We could do it again. It's not that serious, you know. Let me try.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you come back and do a YouTube video with us.
Yeah, that would be
fun.
My
gosh, I would love to. Oh, man.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mickey.
Thank you. Such a pleasure. Thanks for coming to Sunnyside, Washington.
Yeah. It is sunny.
It is sunny.
It's super sunny. We actually did this whole episode outside in her wonderful backyard. That's how beautiful and peaceful and quiet it is here.
It is. It really is.
Come see Mickey at the Yakima Mall.
Yep. Yakima Valley Mall at Mac. Yep.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. Please subscribe, leave a comment, or review.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all at Pro Cheerleading Podcast, and also on Twitter at Pro Cheer Podcast.
This is Brittany.
And Makiba. Until next time,
keep your eyes on the sidelines.